Rumor has it that the new ruler is obsessed with women and tyrannical. Women often walk in and are carried out, piece by piece. The selection of consorts is imminent, and my childhood sweetheart, with whom I am deeply in love, sent me a bolt of blue cloth. He said the new ruler dislikes the color blue. But when I came to find him, full of joy, holding the finished clothes, I overheard his determined conversation with his colleagues. The emperor favors azure the most, as long as Wanqing wears azure. Mingzhu will certainly be eliminated. I've already spoken with my mother. I'll marry Mingzhu as soon as the selection is over. In the private room, Lu Yanchuan's colleagues applauded. Wonderful, wonderful, brother Lu. This move is truly brilliant. Not only does it protect Miss Mingzhu, but it also allows Miss Wanqing to work for you. But if Miss Wanqing knew the truth, I wonder if she would still. After all, everyone knows her affection for you. As his colleague's voice faded, the room fell silent, but soon, Lu Yanchuan's deep voice broke the silence. Just wishful thinking. My feelings for Wanqing have never crossed the line. I have always treated her like a younger sister. I know that entering the palace is like entering a deep sea. Wanqing is intelligent, and she will not be bullied if she enters the palace. But Mingzhu is different. Mingzhu has been more foolish than others since she was a child, and because she is born of a concubine. She has been bullied since she was young. If I hadn't stumbled upon it, Mingzhu would probably have already died in the inner courtyard. Wen Qing is easy to coax. If she really blames me in the future, at most I'll say a few nice words and give her some small trinkets, and she won't resent me anymore. A buzzing started in my ears. Lu Yanchuan's voice grew fainter and fainter, and I steadied myself, looking mockingly at the green dress in my hand. Lu Yanchuan, then as you wish. The next day, Lu Yanchuan arrived at the Li residence early to wait. With a face full of joy, Xiao Dao combed my hair. Miss, young Master Lu is truly good to you. He's been waiting in the front hall since early this morning. If Miss marries young Master Lu in the future, she will definitely be happy. I didn't respond, but instead asked Xiao Dao to put the finished blue dress back. Originally, I planned to wear this for Lu Yanchuan today, but who told me to be impatient and go last night? Xiao Dao didn't understand, but just did as she was told. By the time I finished washing up, an hour had passed. By the time I arrived, a hint of impatience had already crept into Lu Yanchuan's eyes. Before I even sat down, Lu Yanchuan impatiently asked, Wanqing, did you make clothes out of the fabric I gave you? I shook my head and said casually, I couldn't bear to use your gift. Hearing my words, Lu Yanchuan's face immediately darkened, and he stood up abruptly, raising his voice. You didn't make it. Didn't I tell you that the emperor dislikes green clothes the most? Hearing this, my heart sank. Realizing he had lost his composure, Lu Yanchuan sat down and put on an expression of doing it for my own good. Wanqing, I didn't mean to blame you, but time is tight, and I'm afraid it will be too late for the palace selection. I've already had my mother write the betrothal letter, and I'll come to propose marriage after the palace selection. Wanqing, you know my heart. Having said that, Lu Yanchuan looked up at me with sincerity. Seeing me drinking tea non-committally, Lu Yanchuan spoke again. If Wanqing finds it tiring, then leave this Qingyi to me. I will definitely have it done before the palace selection. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a pink shoe tip retract back into the doorway, and I giggled, covering my mouth. Phut, look how anxious you were. I was just teasing you. I've already finished the cyan robe, but I made two. One for myself and one for Mingzhu. My sister is simple-minded. If she enters the palace, she'll be devoured, leaving no bones behind. I can't bear to watch her go to her death. Chuan, you won't mind, right? As soon as she finished speaking, Lu Yichuan shouted in panic, Nonsense. Didn't you used to dislike her the most? Why are you giving her your prized cyan robe? Rebuked by Lu Yanchuan, my face immediately turned cold as I looked at him. It's just a piece of clothing. What's wrong with giving it to her? If it really bothers you, I'll compensate you with a bolt of cloth. Seeing my dark face for the first time, Lu Yangchuan realized he had said the wrong thing, so he softened his tone and began to coax me. What are you saying? How can you ask for something back after you've given it away? Even if it's just a green dress, only my Wanqing deserves it. She's just a concubine's daughter. How could she be worthy of such a good thing, if she's worn it? Just burn it, lest it taint your body. As soon as I finished speaking, a muffled sound came from behind the door, as if something had fallen to the ground. I asked towards the door in a deep voice, "Who's there?" Soon, a slender figure walked out from behind the door. It was Li Mingzhu, eldest sister. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I accidentally broke the teacup." Before I could even speak, Li Mingzhu had already knelt on the ground, trembling all over, as if I were some kind of heinous villain. A few drops of red even appeared on the exposed part of her finger. "I can pay for it, eldest sister. Please don't be angry." Before I could react, Lu Yangchuan had already bent down to pull Li Mingzhu up and into his arms, completely oblivious to the look on my face. "It's just a broken cup. Don't worry about it. I'll buy you a new one to replace it." Wanqing, stop making things difficult for Mingzhu. Watching Lu Yangchuan carefully apply medicine to Li Mingzhu, I finally understood that my previous affection had long since deteriorated. I looked at the shards on the ground. Since the cup is broken, money is indispensable. So I picked up a shard and looked at the two of them. Okay, however, this cup is already extinct, and it's impossible to buy another one. If I have to pay, I'd rather do it now, with black and white. I won't be able to deny it later. Having said that, Xiao Dao had already brought the paper, pen, and ink. "Sign it." "Are you still signing?" I held the paper in front of them both. Lu Yangchuan glanced at me, then took the paper with a dark expression. But as soon as he picked up the pen, Lu Yangchuan looked at me in surprise. 50 taels. What kind of cup is so expensive? Tomorrow I'll bring some gifts you like. Don't be so childish anymore. I looked at Lu Yangchuan with a puzzled expression. What's up? You want to give me some junk again? Thinking of this, I immediately asked Xiao Dao to bring the things over. Soon, Xiao Dao placed a box in front of Lu Yangchuan. "Young Master Lu, the total value of the things you sent doesn't even amount to a fraction of Mrs. Cup." Lu Yangchuan frowned and looked up at me. "Wanqing, when did you become so mercenary?" Seeing that I didn't speak, a hint of disgust appeared in Lu Yangchuan's eyes, and then he pushed the paper in front of Li Mingzhu. "Mingzhu is just a daughter of a concubine. How much money could she possibly have? Don't force her. Why not take away her monthly allowance for a year as punishment?" Li Mingzhu was first filled with question marks, then disbelief. Then, with tears in her eyes, she bit her pale lips tightly. Twisting the handkerchief in her hands, she looked as aggrieved as could be. Lu Yangchuan felt his heart ache just looking at her. But as much as he felt sorry for her, he felt even more sorry for his money than for Li Mingzhu. Lu Yangchuan is just a scholar from a modest family, and has not yet obtained any official rank, but with his talent, passing the imperial examination is only a matter of time. What I initially admired about him was this talent, but now I find it extremely vulgar. Seeing that I showed no signs of yielding, Lu Yangchuan began to lecture me with a sullen face. "Wen Qing, Mingzhu is your sister. How can you be so aggressive? Besides, Mingzhu didn't do it on purpose. You know, I never liked." Before Lu Yangchuan could finish speaking, I interrupted him. "I haven't even said anything yet, and young Master Lu is already rushing to protect his sister. Could it be that you like her? If you really like her, I could be a matchmaker and talk to my father about it." As soon as she said that, Lu Yangchuan visibly panicked. "Nonsense. Then what were you holding? Compensation or the authorities? Take your pick." After Lu Yangchuan let go of Li Mingzhu, he looked at me with disappointment. "Wanqing, do you have to be so aggressive?" Seeing that I didn't answer, Lu Yangchuan looked at the box on the table, then at Li Mingzhu with tears in her eyes. Finally, he took out a 50 tael silver note from his pocket and gave it to her. Li Mingzhu reluctantly handed the silver note to me. I reached out my hand, then pulled it back, out and back, back and out, until Li Mingzhu couldn't help but stomp her foot. Are you walking a dog? Before I could speak, Lu Yangchuan preemptively said, shut up. Li Mingzhu looked at Lu Yangchuan in disbelief, then glared at me fiercely before running out. After Li Mingzhu left, Lu Yangchuan accompanied me to practice calligraphy as usual. I didn't refuse. While practicing calligraphy, I could clearly feel that Lu Yangchuan was distracted. He kept looking towards the door, his eyes almost overflowing with worry. But if he didn't say anything, then I wouldn't mention it either. Just like that, time passed, until Lu Yangchuan couldn't help but speak. Wanqing, you've been practicing calligraphy for so long, it's time to take a break, or I'll feel sorry for you. There's a newly opened pastry shop in the south of the city, said to be very delicious. I'll go buy some for you to try. As compensation, okay. I looked up at Lu Yangchuan, who had a worried look on his face, and said softly, okay. In the wooden house on the back mountain, Lu Yangchuan held Li Mingzhu with heartache. Mingzhu, you've been wronged, just bear with it for a little longer. Once the draft is over, I will bring you back with a grand wedding procession. The position of my first wife can only be yours. Li Mingzhu playfully pushed Lu Yangchuan away. But, it seems like elder sister suspects us a little. It breaks my heart to see you having to read other people's faces because of me. Brother Yangchuan, I'm sorry, I've been a burden to you. Otherwise, overwhelmed by emotion, a few tears streamed down Li Mingzhu's face. Seeing this, Lu Yangchuan immediately kissed her. After tasting the tears, a calculating look appeared in Lu Yangchuan's eyes. Silly, what are you talking about? For you, everything is worth it. Li Wanqing is so stupid, she won't find out. Tomorrow, I'll just go to the street like usual and buy some trinkets to coax her. Mingzhu, I promise, once everything is done, I will never let you suffer again. With that, the white sheets were already rolled into a ball. Meanwhile, on my end, I had already returned all the junk that Lu Yangchuan had given me. It wasn't until evening that Lu Yangchuan rushed over with a box. I glanced at the pastries in the box. It was still the same old osmanthus cake. I'm allergic to osmanthus. I think I've mentioned it before. Seeing that I didn't answer for a long time, impatience crept back into Lu Yangchuan's brows. What's wrong? Don't you like it? I looked up at him quietly. I'm allergic to osmanthus. As soon as he finished speaking, there was no panic or guilt on Lu Yangchuan's face. But he closed the osmanthus cake box as a matter of course. Then I'll buy a different kind next time. I remember Mingzhu likes to eat osmanthus cake. Why don't we give it to her? It would be a pity to throw it away. Lu Yangchuan's eyes lit up when he mentioned Li Mingzhu. It turns out love doesn't disappear. It just transfers to another person. After recognizing reality again, I didn't say anything more. After hastily seeing Lu Yangchuan off, Li Mingzhu walked past me with the osmanthus cake in her hand, seemingly unintentionally, with a hint of smugness and mockery in the corner of her eyes. I ignored Li Mingzhu's silent flaunting, seeing that I was unmoved. Li Mingzhu placed the osmanthus cake in front of me. I didn't mean to take away what eldest sister likes. I haven't eaten it yet, and I hope eldest sister won't dislike it. Looking at the timid Li Mingzhu, I suddenly remembered what Lu Yangchuan had said. I have never treated Li Mingzhu harshly. The only possibility that Lu Yangchuan saw Li Mingzhu being bullied was that she orchestrated it herself. Just like now, just as I was about to continue ignoring Li Mingzhu, she suddenly picked up a piece of osmanthus cake and stuffed it into my mouth. Reacting, I subconsciously pushed her away. I didn't use much force, but she hit the table and then the door, finally falling to the ground, kowtowing and begging for mercy while crying. Before I could react, Lu Yangchuan rushed in and carried Li Mingzhu away. As he left, he looked back at me with disgust. Li Wanqing, if you have any resentment, direct it at me. Mingzhu is completely innocent. Lu Yangchuan made quite a commotion when he barged in and carried Li Mingzhu away. It was so big that it alarmed father and mother. Hearing Lu Yangchuan's accusations and seeing Li Mingzhu burying her head in his chest, mother calmly instructed the servants to take Li Mingzhu away. After father saw Lu Yangchuan off, mother found me and, after hesitating, finally said, "Chinga, I'm afraid Mingzhu's relationship with that young Master Lu is not innocent." I marveled at how my mother could discern the relationship between Lu Yangchuan and Li Mingzhu with just a glance, but I hated myself even more for realizing it so late. I truthfully told my mother what I had overheard that night. My mother was so angry that she almost drew her sword to kill Lu Yangchuan. How could a scumbag be worthy of dirtying my mother's hands? Besides, the talent show is just around the corner, and I don't want to cause any trouble. Not long after my mother left, Li Mingzhu, who was supposed to be resting in bed, arrived. I looked up at Li Mingzhu with interest, and at a glance, I saw the cyan jade pendant she was wearing around her waist. My face darkened, and I said, "Give me the jade pendant." Li Mingzhu glared at me. "This is a love token that brother Yangchuan gave me. Why should I give it to you?" Slap. Before Li Mingzhu could finish speaking, my left hand landed on her right cheek. "How dare you hit me? Do you know who I am?" I looked at her like she was an idiot. After snatching the jade pendant from Li Mingzhu's hand, I realized that Li Mingzhu had put something on her face, making it deathly pale, even whiter than someone who had been dead for 7 days. It was quite frightening. To be honest, has my dear sister forgotten how father taught you? The Li family has a strict hierarchy. If you continue to address me by my given name, then I will have to enforce the family rules. Also, don't put everything on your face, looking like a ghost. It's hideous. After saying that, I shot her a glare, and Li Mingzhu was so frightened that she took 2 steps back, finally flinging her sleeves and leaving. Watching Li Mingzhu's departing figure, I was very puzzled. Although she is a daughter of a concubine, my mother and I have never mistreated her and her mother. Li Mingzhu was born to concubine when she was the result of my father's drunken indiscretion. From childhood to adulthood, Mingzhu and I have always gotten along like sisters. She was very obedient and loved to cling to me. I always think of her whenever I have something good, but ever since she fell into the water at the age of 10, Li Mingzhu seemed like a different person after waking up. She became taciturn with arrogance, and no longer clung to me. Instead, she looked at me more like an enemy. Could it be that a monster has replaced her soul? Thinking of this, I made a decision in my heart. Find someone to follow her. South Courtyard. Mingzhu, Wanqing is your elder sister. From childhood to adulthood, she and your legal mother have never mistreated us. Mother and daughter, how can you repay kindness with hatred? I don't agree with this. When Paya looked at the daughter she had raised and felt like a stranger for the first time, although it was the master's fault back then, but instead of selling her, a servant girl, the madam brought her in and made her a concubine. At first, she had her doubts about the madam's ulterior motives, but as time went on, she discovered that the madam and miss genuinely treated her and her daughter well. She once asked the madam about it. The madam said that life is hard for women in this world, and she didn't want to harm innocent lives, especially since it wasn't her fault. Good day, madam. Good day, miss. Therefore, she never had any thoughts of harming you or miss, but her daughter suddenly told her that she wanted to marry Lu Yangchuan and ruin miss. Who is Lu Yangchuan? It was common knowledge that he and miss were of one mind. If miss were to lose, the position of the young madam of the Lu family could only belong to miss. If miss were chosen, it certainly wouldn't fall to her. A concubine-born daughter. But when she heard what Li Mingzhu said next, she was shocked and disappointed. I don't object to you wanting to live under someone else's feet for the rest of your life, but I can't, and I won't. His Majesty is obsessed with the color blue these days. Li Wanqing will definitely wear blue clothes on the day of the selection. Oh, perhaps Auntie doesn't know, But the fabric for that blue dress was personally delivered by Lu Yangchuan. And he was the one who told her the news. That idiot actually believes it. A love-struck brain is beyond saving. When Paya was furious, how could you steal your elder sister's man, who said I was going to marry him? What I've always wanted is that position. But that bitch actually dared to hit me. I have to send my eldest sister a big gift. Auntie, what do you think about Uncle Wang at the village entrance? That was personally chosen by Lu Yangchuan. Auntie, your good fortune is yet to come, but right now I need you to do me a favor. When Paya looked at Li Mingzhu's scheming face in horror, she wanted to remind her lady, but she suddenly realized that not only could she not speak, but there were also people guarding the door, on the other side. I smiled after listening to the secret agent's report. What a coincidence. I also have a big gift for them. The next day, the secret agent returned to report again. Xiao Dao has witnessed everything that has happened these days. Xiao Dao couldn't help but tear up when she heard the secret agent's report. I'm going to tell Madam. I stopped Xiao Dao. If I can't even handle such a small matter, then I'm not worthy of being mother's daughter. Xiao Dao's eyes became even redder, which broke my heart. Just as I was trying to make Xiao Dao happy, Lu Yangchuan arrived. Lu Yangchuan, who was stopped at the door, was full of displeasure in his tone. Wen Qing. Why are you throwing a tantrum again? Why did you return all the things I gave you? I watched him coldly from inside the door. I don't collect junk here. You can keep those worthless things for yourself and give them to someone else. My words made Lu Yangchuan pause for a moment. Is it because of Mingzhu? I'll stay away from her in the future. So don't be jealous anymore. How disgusting. I threw the jade pendant over. So when he saw my emotionless gaze and the jade pendant I threw at his feet, he truly panicked. This was something I had specially sought for him at a temple years ago. He once said that he wouldn't let the jade pendant leave him even in death, but it hadn't been long before it appeared on another woman. He wanted to explain, but Xiao Dao had already closed the door. Before the door closed completely, Lu Yangchuan was still caught up in his self-pity. Wen Qing. I don't want you to be affected by me in tomorrow's selection. I'll wait for you to come back. Spare me the nonsense. I'm not doing anything that could get me killed. Besides, I want to be selected. In the locked room, Lu Yangchuan rubbed the painting on the wall with his hands incessantly. He muttered to himself as if possessed by a ghost. Only by destroying her will I be worthy of you, who is high above. If you ever learn the truth, I know you will understand my pain. Night fell. After I went to sleep, a plume of thick smoke drifted in from the window. Li Mingzhu was finally ready to make her move. Before long, a dark figure jumped in through the window. No, it must have been thrown in. Did Li Mingzhu see through my plan? Hearing the noise, Xiao Dao picked up a wooden stick and hit the person on the ground a few times heavily. Miss, I think she's dead. After making sure the person on the ground wasn't moving, Xiao Dao removed the veil from the black figure's face. It was Quia, the maidservant who served Li Mingzhu. I carefully examined the person lying on the ground, short and stocky. Looking at him, he seemed very out of place with the women. Just as I was about to check his gender, Xiao Dao suddenly spoke. Miss, look, there's a note stuck here. I looked up and saw 2 words written on the note. Male. I wasn't reassured, so I checked it myself. It was indeed a man. I thought it was just a coincidence. But as I looked at Li Mingzhu on the bed, wondering how to get Lu Yangchuan in, another dark figure descended from the window. It was Lu Yangchuan, unconscious. It seems someone is deliberately helping me, but I really can't figure out who it could be. Oh well, if I can't figure it out, then forget it. If I find out who it is in the future, I will definitely thank them with a generous reward. The selection is over. I was unexpectedly granted the title of Imperial Concubine, and will enter the palace in 5 days. After the joy and excitement subsided, my mother found me with a worried look on her face, her eyes full of resentment. Chinga, now that you have become an Imperial Concubine, I originally didn't need to tell you this, but this concerns Mingzhu, so you must know. Last night, Mingzhu was sent to the Lu residence by your father in a sedan overnight, raising her for over 10 years, and we've raised a viper in our bosom. Mother chattered on and on, saying that Li Mingzhu and Lu Yangchuan were discovered hanging together. Li Mingzhu cursed at me, not caring about her image. My father couldn't bear it and hit Li Mingzhu, finally sending her away in a sedan. Only then did my mother realize that the child she and I had loved for over a decade hated her so much that she didn't hesitate to drug and ruin me. In the end, my mother's eyes were filled with disappointment and heartache. She knew that I had always doted on Li Mingzhu since she was a child, and always treated her like my own sister. Mother also knew that if she had told me frankly, I would have given her any man she wanted. But when I asked about Aunt Wen, Mother frowned slightly. I'm afraid she won't live long. Li Mingzhu is ruthless enough. Madame Wen was not only poisoned and made mute by her, but also had her hands and legs broken and was locked in the woodshed. When my mother found her, she only saw a few words written in blood faintly on the ground: "Save Miss." I asked my mother to treat Madame Wen well. On the other side, Li Mingzhu became a concubine, and in just a few days, she turned the Lu mansion upside down. Later, when I heard about Li Mingzhu and Lu Yanchuan's retribution, I just smiled. After raising her for more than 10 years, I couldn't bear to let the dirty things ruin my sister. When the 5 days were up, I took Xiao Dao into the palace. On the way, I felt a strong gaze following me. I immediately dropped the sedan curtain. That was close. I almost got caught by him again. On my first night in the palace, the new Emperor Xiao Jingchen summoned me to his bedchamber. The initial nervousness I felt was replaced by terror, but soon, the terror turned into exhaustion. Wait, is he an ox in the zodiac? How can he have so much inexhaustible energy? It wasn't until my whole body went limp and the maid came in to change the water for the 10th time that Xiao Jingchen finally stopped, seemingly not fully satisfied. Xiao Jingchen stopped and closed his eyes, falling into a deep sleep. Only then did I carefully examine the new ruler before me. Xiao Jingchen didn't look as fierce as the world had rumored, but rather had a touch of tenderness on his stern face. He was much more pleasing to the eye than Lu Yangchuan. As expected of someone born into royalty, their aura is just different. But beautiful is beautiful. But this is just too exhausting. Perhaps I was too engrossed in watching. I couldn't help but raise my hand to touch Xiao Jingchen's face. Before I could even touch it, a strong hand grasped mine, followed by a deep voice from above my head. "Does consort want more?" Xiao Jingchen's words made me bury my head in the bed in embarrassment, stammering, "Enough, enough." Xiao Jingchen chuckled softly after I spoke, then he turned me around and leaned over me. How could I not satisfy my beloved consort's desires? However, if your hands ever touch another man again, I will kill him. I cursed Xiao Jingchen inwardly, caught between shame, anger, and pleasure. Isn't this man crazy? Isn't he the one touching me now? 3 months since entering the palace, I suspect Xiao Jingchen wants to exterminate my entire family. The harem has 3,000 beauties, but I've never seen Xiao Jingchen summon any other concubines. No, it's not that there aren't any. I once saw a talented woman summoned by Xiao Jingchen. I never saw her come out again. Although it's not as exaggerated as the rumors suggest, a sense of fear arises at the thought of this. Could it be that my father has done something major involving forming cliques, engaging in corruption, or even treason? I immediately wrote a letter and had Xiao Dao find someone to send it back overnight. Before the reply arrived, Xiao Jingchen came instead. Xiao Jingchen, as usual, had me accompany him in the study to review the memorials. Thinking of the way the other concubines had been looking at me these past few days, I had a bitter story I couldn't tell. Just as I was hesitating about how to persuade Xiao Jingchen to go to the other concubines' palaces, he spoke. "It will be over soon, just bear with it a little longer." Although the routine for the past month has been him finishing his memorials and then sleeping with me, but this is just too much. If this continues, I'll either die at his hands or from the daggers in the other concubine's eyes. So, after hesitating for a long time, I finally spoke. Your Majesty, won't you visit the other sisters' palaces? The plum blossoms in Consort Yu's palace are blooming. They are very beautiful. I wasn't lying. There were many plum blossoms planted in Consort Yu's palace. I even took Xiao Dao to see them several times. Xiao Jingchen finally raised his head, and what he said almost scared me to death. What is it? Am I not satisfying you, or do you hate me? I was so frightened that I knelt on the ground, explaining with tears and snot streaming down my face. After explaining, I didn't forget to give some compliments. The coldness around Xiao Jingchen finally dissipated, but he smiled as he walked towards me. In that case, I should accompany my esteemed consort to sleep. Smart mouth. Deserves a beating. The next day, my father replied. I breathed a sigh of relief when I saw that my father hadn't defected. The letter also mentioned that Li Mingzhu and Lu Yangchuan had become a bickering couple, constantly fighting and cursing. I didn't take it seriously. At the banquet 3 days later, I saw Lu Yangchuan, who shouldn't have been there. Lu Yangchuan appeared before me dressed as a eunuch, which really gave me a start. Wanqing, if you're not doing well, I'll take you away. We'll go to a place where no one knows us, change our names, and live like immortals. Looking at Lu Yangchuan's hopeful eyes, I couldn't help but roll my eyes and let out a burp. Is he blind? Can't he see that I'm eating well, using good things, sleeping well, and even gaining weight? Or does he want to kill me? Having said that, apart from his perpetual scowl, Xiao Jingchen is perfect in every other way. Sometimes I wonder if there are haters specifically targeting him. Seeing that I wasn't speaking, Lu Yangchuan tried to take my hand, but I dodged him. I glanced up at Xiao Jingchen. Thankfully he wasn't looking this way. Lu Yangchuan stood there with a look of loss on his face. I looked at him with a guarded expression. Young Master Lu, now that I am a noble consort, it's one thing if you don't offer a greeting, but you want to lay a hand on me. Is the Lu family's head strong enough to be chopped off? Hearing my words, Lu Yangchuan retracted his hand, his eyes filled with regret. Wanqing, it's my fault. If I had married you back then, none of this would have happened today. I retorted sarcastically. The emperor favors azure the most. As long as Wanqing wears azure, Mingzhu will certainly be eliminated. Does young Master Lu still remember what he said back then? As soon as I said that, Lu Yangchuan's face turned pale. You know everything. Wen-Qing, I regret it. I really regret it. I've realized these past few days that the one I've always loved is you. Give me one more chance, please. Seeing my indifferent and unmoved expression, Lu Yangchuan's face darkened, and he began to press closer. Just because you've been a favored concubine for a few days, do you think the emperor is truly sincere to you? Wen-Qing, if the emperor knew about what's between us, do you think he would still love you? Do you think the Li family would still exist in this world? My heart sank. Is he threatening me? It seems I was too kind back then. Lu Yangchuan's words are disgusting. But before I could act, I heard someone shout that there was an assassin. The next second, a veiled, shapely woman lunged towards the dragon throne. Missing it completely, Xiao Jingchen had already shielded me in his arms. The assassin was dead. The woman, stabbed, lay there, but quickly. Xiao Jingchen's dangerous and deep voice rang out above me. Does the Lu family not want to live? Your Majesty, Wen-Qing and I have been childhood sweethearts. Lu Yangchuan opened his mouth fearlessly, but before he could finish speaking, he was kicked to the ground by a guard, who then added 2 more kicks to his mouth. I snuggled in Xiao Jingchen's arms, looking both pitiful and understanding. Your Majesty, this Master Lu has a very foul mouth. Why not poison him to make him mute? So he won't offend
Mingzhu's eyes upon hearing my words, but instead of answering my question, she held her head higher than the sky. Do you know why the emperor has been hesitant to appoint an empress? Because of you. Li Mingzhu nodded with a confident look on her face. I was stunned in place. Now I can say for sure that the Li Mingzhu I knew is dead. At this moment, standing before me was nothing more than a monster wearing Li Mingzhu's body. Before I could react, Li Mingzhu picked up the knife and slashed her own hand, then said something I couldn't understand. Li Wanqing, you've lived long enough for a villainous supporting character. It's time to die. After she finished speaking, a eunuch appeared behind Li Mingzhu. The eunuch, hunched over and limping, rushed towards me. Qing, you've ruined me. I wasn't originally a delicate woman confined to the backyard. Xiao Dao and I together could easily take on 2 opponents. But I don't know what that eunuch used. As soon as I touched him, I felt a force that was both painful and numbing, and I fainted before I could even make a move. When I woke up again, I was in complete darkness. I tried to get up, but found my hands and feet tied with rope. Perhaps the noise of my awakening woke up the person next to me. Soon, the sound of a candle being lit rang out, and I could see the environment I was in. If I'm not mistaken, I should be in a secret chamber. As the candlelight grew brighter, I discovered the walls were covered with paintings of the same woman. The woman's eyes and brows resembled mine, but her figure was unlike mine. She looked more like my mother. As I was reeling in shock, the eunuch who had knocked me out slowly approached. The eunuch's face was covered in scars, as if he had been subjected to some kind of torture, but I could still recognize him from his eyes. Lu Yangchuan, hearing me recognize him, the smile on Lu Yangchuan's face reached his eyes, looking quite eerie. A Yao, is this the only way you'll see me? How did he, an outsider, know that a Yarrow is my mother's childhood name? Before I could figure it out, Lu Yangchuan was already walking towards me. Preparing to strip my clothes off, I was tied to the bed like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. Just as I was in despair, the stone door was pushed open. It's Xiao Jingchen. In the dungeon, Lu Yangchuan was hung on the wall by his, and lying on the ground was Li Mingzhu, scattered in pieces. Strangely enough, even so, Li Mingzhu's mind was still active. Here she is, still cursing at me. She's cursing quite harshly, saying that I'm the one hindering her mission. If it weren't for me, she would have completed the mission long ago and gone home to squander money that she couldn't spend in several lifetimes. I'm confused. I never thought of hurting her from beginning to end. What task of hers did I hinder? I got the truth from Li Mingzhu's words. I don't understand what awakening means, but I understand that it's because I don't love Lu Yangchuan anymore. According to her original plan, I was a pawn for her and Lu Yangchuan. I will agree to all her conditions. I think she's crazy. After all the yelling, she looked at me arrogantly. She said she's the main character. She can never die. But I don't believe it. Xiao Dao handed me the knife, and I just picked it up and stabbed her. The next second, she looked at me in horror, and then she died. After confirming Li Mingzhu was truly dead, I turned to look at Lu Yangchuan. Lu Yangchuan is a pervert. Just because he ate a piece of candy my mother gave him when he was young, he has remembered it to this day. I didn't let him die easily. He was made to experience all the tortures and poisons in the world, daring to covet my mother. This is letting him off easy. After Li Mingzhu's death, the number of imperial concubines in the palace did not decrease. Instead, Xiao Jingchen sent them all back home. Looking at my confused expression, Xiao Jingchen explained, I have never touched them. The people I killed weren't really people at all. Chinga, do you believe that the world we live in is just a storybook? Originally, I didn't believe it until the first Li Mingzhu appeared in front of me, seemingly unintentionally. Hearing this, I exclaimed in surprise. The first Li Mingzhu. Xiao Jingchen thought for a moment and continued to explain. You can understand them as people from another space-time, who came here to our world to complete a mission. Their mission lines are all the same. You, Lu Yangchuan, and finally me. I've killed wave after wave, but I can't seem to eradicate them all. Every time they complete their mission, the plot resets. You might not believe it, but I've lived for several lifetimes. But one day, as I was pondering how to deal with the new Li Mingzhu, I discovered you, who was different from the previous lifetimes. Qing, I admit I used you. But when you were really kidnapped by Lu Yangchuan, I almost went crazy. Qing, Whether it's this life or the previous ones, I sent you out of the palace early. Actually, I liked you a long time ago. Before Li Mingzhu, but you didn't know, WN Qing, whether you leave or stay. I respect your choice. 5 years later, I gave birth to a pair of twins for Xiao Jingchen, auspicious twins, an extremely good omen. But late at night, I heard Xiao Jingchen, who was sleeping next to me, talking to something with his eyes closed. Hey, system, what is my mission?